My friend is going to the Something in the Water concert and she requested the style on the right. Now, this style is by one of my favorite braiders at braided underscore underscore. That's her at for Instagram. And at first glance, the style looks really complicated, but hopefully by the end of this video, I would have been able to make it a lot more simpler for you guys once it's explained. Of course, I'm going to start out with the middle part, and the middle part for this style is really vital. Sometimes I throw in the middle part just because I have to do it just to proportion the hair, but because this style is heavily focused on proportions, the middle part is absolutely necessary. The next step that I'm going to do is pre-part the hair. Luckily, I did pre-part the hair because if I did not, I would have completely messed up this style and would have had to take in the braids out and start over. And that is one of the things you do not want to do as a braider, especially if you are on a time crunch or, just that's just not what you want to do. So now I'm parting out the first braid. And this is where I would have messed up royally if I did not pre-part the entire head before. This section is completely too big for this style. Now on each side of the middle part there's going to be 4 braids, so all in all there's a total of 8 braids in this style. However, this section I'm parting out is supposed to be 1 braid, but you're going to see in just a few moments how much bigger it is than any other braid that would have been on that side. So now if I did not pre-part the style, I would have started braiding and I would have been completely off, and every other braid would have been much smaller, or we would have been really forcing braids in the hair if I did not pre-part. And that is the beauty of pre-parting, guys, before you start any style, is that you get to see where there's room for mistakes, and you get to change those mistakes before it's too late. So now that I've pre-parted a second braid, I'm looking back and forth and I'm like, whoa, like that one is much smaller than the first one I pre-parted. I went ahead and finished pre-parting, but immediately like, I knew that it was too big. So I finished pre-parting, and instead of starting on the side that I started on, I corrected myself on the other half of her head and sectioned it out properly. I was not able to show that, but as you guys can see, this part is smaller than the first one I did because I corrected it and I started on that side. Now we are pre-parting the little section for the S braids. So this is what makes the style a little bit easier, is because you have to pre-part those small sections. So I'm putting the shine and jam on it and crisping it up, and then just leaving them on its own because I'm going to be braiding them individually up and down, up and down. So there's different ways you can pre-part, and I'm going to show you guys as we go on in the video how to make it much easier on yourself. So now I started on this side, and because I have to kind of move around the client for this style because the braids are going up and down, up and down, I had to like shut the camera off, and then we just end up completely doing this entire half of her head without filming, and then I started back filming on the other half. So you didn't miss much, but you did miss much. So we're starting off on the other side. I completely flipped sides, but it still looked like I'm doing the same style or the same braid, but I'm not. So for this style now, I'm adding hair in the beginning, and as I go, her hair is so thick, I really don't want this braid to be huge, even though it still ended up being bigger than the pitch in the picture. That's because she has fuller, probably longer hair, so of course the braids are going to be a little bit thicker. However, I did not have to add much hair. Again, I'm adding hair in this braid for integrity, to make the braid stronger and last longer. However, some styles you really only need to add hair at the end for length, and this is one of those styles. So as I'm going, I'm just braiding up and down, and just making that curve. It is nothing too technical about it, as long as you can make a curve when you're braiding. However, the pre-parting of the hair helps tremendously because if I did not do that, I would have to stop each time, let the braid go and part it, and then, keep letting the braid go. And then the braid will probably get messed up and, become loose because I'm having to let it go to part. So I'm going to let it go right here and, clip it off. But if I had to do that at every turn, that would just be crazy. So that's why you want to pre-part it before even starting. So now once I've reached that section, I do look at the picture to see like where did she start braiding back, and then that's where I started going straight back with it. And this is where I add in bulk of the hair is at the back. So once I hit that last curve and I'm starting to braid back, that's when I start adding all the extension hair to make the braids thicker at the back. Because like I said, during the braiding process, she does not need that much hair added because her hair is already thick, it's already full. So she does not need any more hair to make it bigger, and the braids would have just looked bulky. So I'm on the second braid in that half, and again I have to correct the part. And that's the beauty of pre-parting, is that it's already parted out, but I can see where I can make improvements, and I can match it up with the other side that's already braided, and fix the parts as I go, and then to ensure that they are symmetrical and they are of the right proportion. So now this is another way that you can pre-part. As you guys can see, I'm parting and I'm flipping some half over one side and the other half over the other side. So that's a great way to keep the hair separated when you're pre-parting, is just to flip one on one side, the other when you do the other part, you flip it down and back and forth, and that's the best way to keep the hair from getting mixed up and getting um, gathered together, and to make it easier so that once you start braiding, the hair is not in your way. Again, I stopped a little bit and clipped it off, and then I'm just going to finish out pre-parting the sections. So I just flipped that upwards, and then I would have flipped the other one going down towards her ear. And that's how you separate the hair. And then once I get to the back, I start throwing in all the extension pieces in the back because, we didn't need much hair to braid it down. I maybe put a few strands in there just to make it, just for the integrity of the braid, to make it last longer and to be stronger. So with this style, you really have to look at the picture because it's so unique, and that's why it's so eye-catching. And a lot of people really love this style is because it's not braided following the rules of the S braid as much when you first start each braid out. So you really have to pay attention to the picture and how she starts off each braid to really get the style. So when you're doing this style, or if you're trying to copy this style, you really have to pay attention to the picture and how she starts off each braid, because that's what makes this style so unique. So once you can see the full picture of when I'm completely done, you'll see in the center of her head where how each braid is started off. So now while I'm brushing her hair out, she's actually mixing the hair. She came with 3 different color hair and we ended up mixing them. And this is the beauty of have only doing friends and family, is that I can employ my friends and my family. There's no politics in doing hair when they come to my house. Sometimes, to speed things up, I employ them to do the work. And, if I was in the salon, of course, I would have to stop and mix the hair myself, just because there's a lot of politics in, employing someone that's paying you to do their hair, which I completely understand. But if you guys want a mixing video of how to mix 3 different color hair to make it all look blended in and blended well, just let me know in the comment section and I will do like a short video on how people mix hair. As you can tell, she has 3 different colors in her hair. So when she came with the braid in hair, it had to also be 3 different colors so that everything matched up. So if you guys want a quick video on how that's done, I will do that for you. Just leave a comment in the comment section and I'll drop that for you guys. Now we are at the end and you can kind of see the center a little bit. That's the most intriguing part of this braid style, is the center braids. And I'm just finishing out braiding her ends and I'm going to dip them. And this is the final look, you guys. Tell me what you think as always. Look at the center. This is the unique part about the style. Um, she killed it. She's a planner, so she planned this entire style months in advance. As soon as she got her tickets for the Something in the Water festival, she was already like hitting me up saying, hey, put me on your schedule for this style. And this is how it turned out. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. See you next time.